Welcome back to Muscle in the Morning, brought to you by IronMag Labs. Make your mark. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Thursday, June 8th, 2017. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. It's almost hurricane season down here in Florida, so it's time to start battening down the hatches. But even if you were one of those doomsday preppers who built one of those post-apocalyptic bomb shelters in your basement, you probably still don't have enough gas in the tank to take on the F5 Widowmaker that we call Dexter Jackson. This week, someone inside of Team Blade released some rare behind-the-scenes leg training footage of the champ in action as he prepares to make his yearly pilgrimage back to the Olympia stage. Everything we've seen from Dexter so far this year points to him coming back to bring one of those legendary top 3 Dexter Jackson performances. And when you're a former Olympia champ yourself that's still as good as Dexter Jackson is, putting yourself in a position to potentially add another standout to your shelf is never totally out of the question. If you've been paying attention to what's been going on in the classic physique division at the amateur level this year, then you've probably seen more than a few guys who have future star written all over them. But I'm not sure if I've seen anyone look more like the total package than rising Canadian amateur level star in the making, Cody Drobot. Late last week, the 20-something-year-old Golden Era throwback released some video from a quick posing session where we see him looking every bit the part of someone who's going to find himself standing on an Olympia stage a whole lot sooner than later. And if this kid punches his ticket at Canadian Nationals 3 weeks from now and earns an IFBB Pro card, I think he has a legitimate shot to find his way up there this year and really open up some eyes. In about 9 out of 10 cases, when I hear most guys say they're walking around at 300 plus pounds, alarm bells go off in my head immediately, and I tell myself that he's probably going to end up looking terrible on stage. But if there's one thing I've learned during this bodybuilding season, it's that Dallas McCarver simply isn't most guys. Last week, some new photos surfaced of a nutty-looking 320-pound version of McCarver that might as well have been something straight out of a Marvel comic book. And now that he's had a solid 3 months to get his body back in order from his well-documented ordeal earlier in the year, McCarver seems like he's back to his old self and blasting full speed ahead back towards the Olympia stage. And I think I speak for bodybuilding fans everywhere when I say that I can't wait to see what this kid's going to be able to do this year now that he's finally healthy. I've been saying for years that if athletes really want to expand their brand and get paid like professionals, that they need to start finding ways to extend their reach outside of the small niche of the bodybuilding world. And thankfully for us, Heath is a guy who gets that. Last week, King Phil made his second appearance on the uber-popular Fighter and the Kid podcast, alongside actor and comedian Bryan Callen and former UFC heavyweight title contender Brendan Schaub, where he sat down to bust it up with the guys the day before he officially started his Olympia prep. To his credit, Phil was really candid and really entertaining in a long conversation that touched on everything from his thoughts on gunning for title number 7, his early days in the industry, and a whole lot of unfiltered thoughts on a pretty wide range of subjects. If you want to hear Phil's take unedited and uncensored, make sure to go check out the Fighter and the Kid podcast, available on iTunes. As we've seen so far through the first 2 games of the NBA Finals, sometimes in sports, superior talent just flat out trumps everything else. And right now, there might not be a more talented athlete in the figure division than YAMAMOTO nutrition athlete Candace Lewis. After rocking the entire foundation of the figure division with her win at the Arnold Classic to start the season, Lewis is looking to bring her talents to the Olympia stage, where she'll look to unseat reigning and defending champion LaToya Watts. As far as the measurable are concerned, Lewis is probably the only athlete on the planet who has the genetics and the talent to match what Watts can do at her best. And given what we saw back in Columbus, I don't think it would shock anyone if we left the Olympia weekend with Candace Lewis as our new figure Olympia champion.